Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to be with you again this morning. It is Thursday morning, and I'm going to address with you a theme that keeps popping up again and again and again with those that I get the privilege of working with those that I get to do life with, and those that I get to serve alongside. The topic for today is, let me just check to make sure that this is working. I think it is. Is motivation. How do I get motivated? How do I stay motivated? That's where we are going today, if I can speak clearly enough. How do you, what does it require of you to stay motivated? And in that regard, why has it been so difficult? Right? I mean, we've all been in this pandemic, and all of us have our own settings, our own stories, our own people that we've done it with, right? That we've come through it with, that we're coming through it with, and the doors are starting to open. And again, people have all sorts of different perspectives on that. But how do you stay motivated, right? No matter what is going on around you, how can you harness that drive, that desire, and what does it take in you, from you, to move forward? So for this morning's Check-in with Kevin, that's what we're going to hit. What does it require for you to have success in the arena of motivation, which ultimately is about you moving the direction that you want to move in? In a theory called expectancy theory, there's three things that have to show up in a person's life for them to be deeply motivated to move in the direction towards their goals. Three things that, if they are present, they will pull you towards something that truly excites you, that truly helps you come alive. Somebody said to me the other day, you will have confidence of the plan that you can actually pull through or execute that plan. And you will regularly experience these small wins that have a massive, small ripple effects, but to a massive, bigger win. All right, so I'm going to give you three straight off the bat. That way, if you're just popping in, you can boom, get a power punch of truth, or daily fuel, whatever you care to call it. I'm going to give you the three requirements for unstoppable motivation. How about that? That's a pretty big promise. But how about three requirements for motivation to be at work and effective and efficient in your story, in your life? All right. First one is that you have to believe the reward of whatever that goal is that you're moving towards is important, is meaningful, and is compelling, right? You have to believe that the reward, or the why, okay? You have to believe that the reward or the why of the particular goal that you're shooting for is important, is meaningful, and is compelling. Hope that's pretty clear. Bottom line, don't forget your why, because it's so easy to lose your way. All right, point number two. So I'm going to give you number one is why, right? Why do you want to achieve whatever it is you're moving towards? This is the first part of helping you have motivation be less of an issue in your story. Numero two, you don't just have to believe that the reward is worth it, but you also have to believe that you know how to achieve it, right? That you have a plan, that you have a strategy, or that you have people who can help you pull it off, right? So not just the why, but the how. All right. Number 2 is how. How do I stay motivated? Well, first of all, I need to get in touch with why. We're going to get into that a little bit more. And second, you have to have an idea, not just an idea, but some more depth to, okay, so how are we going to do this, right? And to have a plan. A lot of times when people feel overwhelmed, right, it is most often times because there's no plan, there's no sense of pathway out of whatever the circumstances are engulfing them with in the moment. So number 1 is why. You must believe that the reward of a particular goal is important and meaningful and compelling to you. To you, not to anybody else, to you. That's number 1. Number 2, you must believe that you know how, with strategies, with a plan, or with people, to achieve that goal. And then numero 3, the challenge is to believe that you can execute, can take action on the plan or the strategy to achieve your goal. So it's not enough to just have the why, and it's not enough just to know how. You have to believe that it's possible, right? How, why, and I'm going to say possible is number 3. Believe that is possible, okay? Even if you're not fully convinced, but at least you've got a path, you've got a plan, you've got a strategy, you've got some people in your loop of influence, in your support structure that can help you get to the other side, that your why, and we're going to get into this in a minute, is meaningful, is compelling, is important, is connected to emotion. The more you can connect your why to your emotion, the better chances you have of pulling off your how, and ultimately believing that it is possible to pull through on the plan, on the strategy that is involved in helping you achieve your goal. That's it. Those 3. Now, if you've got a little more time, I'm going to say hang in with me, because we're going to go through all of those 3 one by one. And so that is my encouragement for you, to hang in, and you'll get a little bit more meat on them bones, boy or girl, okay? So these big 3, at any level, have to be a part of your experience, your process, your reality, right? Your experience. And there was a writer, not a writer, but somebody who was really, really successful, chap named Hunt is his last name. He said there's only 3 requirements for success. First, you decide exactly what it is that you want to try to accomplish. And second, you have to determine the price that you're willing to pay and that you're going to need to pay to get what you want. And the third thing is that, which is most important, that you resolve to pay that price, or that you commit to pay that price. Not that you think about it, not that you're wondering about it, not that it's like a maybe or so, but that you are going to get the job done. All right. So number 1, deciding exactly what you want and why. The bigger your why, the easier the how. The bigger and the clearer the why. Why am I doing this? The easier the how is. A fellow named Jim Rohn said that thought. Your goal or your outcome needs to be desirable. Really, I want this, right? And you need to be really compelled as to why you want it, right? Because that'll be part of what pulls you through. Okay, the why is part of what's the vision. What's the vision about? Like what's gonna get me through when I don't feel like it, right? Motion changes emotion, right? And so a lot of times, like I don't feel like, well, so get yourself in moving, and you will feel very different. Don't allow your emotions to control you. All right. So, same fella Jim Rohn said this: reasons come first, answers come second. And we need reasons for doing something. Those reasons are your and my why. The more reasons we can give for accomplishing something, for pulling something off, or for contributing what it's going to need to pull that off, the more motivated you are going to be. These reasons, gang, when they're powerful, actually shift into us having a perspective that they become needs. Most people look at their current circumstances, maybe even their income, as a product of their capability or their situation. In reality, your current income, your circumstances, is based upon what you believe that you need, right? Because if you needed to make more, if you needed extra, if your vision demands it, if your dream demands it, you will be surprised about what you are able to come up with. Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. I'm blown away. I think I'm not sure if it's Pareto's law, but the idea is that time expands to, is it time expands? Time expands, no. The task expands to the time allotted. That's what it is. The task expands to the time allotted. I experienced it this morning. I had a choice. I could come down really early, go over my notes, make sure everything was set up and ready. I already had made sure some of that was done last night. Or I could get ready first and then, that yada yada. And I noticed that I was quite relaxed getting ready. I wasn't pushing it. I wasn't, So when I narrow the time that I have to get something done, man, I can get so much more done when I narrow the time. Your current level of circumstance or income reflects the size of your reasons. Most people have it backwards. They work so that they can earn an income. When you have a compelling reason or a vision, you earn so you can invest in working, and the work becomes sweet because you have a very specific and powerful reason for doing that work to get you to a certain destination. If you can make bigger reasons more exciting, more personally, emotionally meaningful to you, then you can start to get a clear picture of the goal that's ahead of you. Bigger your reasons, bigger your needs. If you have big goals, you're going to need more resources. You're going to need people to help you pull them off. And you may need more income in the process. Hope that's making some sense to you. And I could go deeper into all of that, but I'm going to just camp out there or pause right there and just say, number one is you want to get motivated. If you're not clear on your why, if you're not clear on the important, meaningful, and compelling reason of the payoff or of the reward, you're probably going to not be as successful as you want to be. All right? So your homework is why. Why? And frankly, I would love it if you would share it with me in the comments. Why are you shooting in a direction for any goal in your life, any direction in your life? Why are you moving in that direction? Go ahead and let me know, let the others know. Let's share this together. You know, fellowship is about two fellows on the same ship heading in the same direction. That's what fellowship is, right? And that's what we're having right now. And so I'm jumping on board your ship and trying to motivate you, trying to encourage you to keep moving in the direction that you want to move in, to experience the dreams or the visions that I believe that your Father in heaven has given to you. Number two, determine that the price that you will have to pay. The how, what are the strategies, what are the plans, who are the people that I'm going to need, right? We, as a family, just finished watching The Count of Monte Cristo. Good movie, great storyline in that movie. Every movie has a couple of bones in it, so you just spit those out. But cool movie. The Count of Monte Cristo. Napoleon is in that movie, and one part of it, I won't give it away to you, but anyway, he says a couple of thoughts. One of them is kings and pawns, right? And you know, about accomplishing your desires and all of that. Another Napoleon has been known to say this: whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Right now, look, that might be a little far out for most of you, okay? And I'm actually even going to say we could shave a little bit off that. But here's what I want to say to you is there are so few people who are living even anywhere close to whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. That even just getting closer to opening up the willingness in my noggin to imagine what it might look like when I get there, what it might feel like when I get there, or actually what that would feel like even right now as a motivator to help me move towards the vision. A lot of times when couples come to us for intensives or individual intensives or hourly coaching or counseling or spiritual direction, we're asking them, where are you right now? What does that feel like? What describe that pain? They're right here and they want to get to here. Well, what would it feel like when you get there? If you can get a clearer picture of that, that can really help you get from here to there and pull you through this messy middle, sometimes we call it. What is the price that you will have to pay? How, in other words, this is answering the how. When you can picture, imagine, when you can see it, and you understand your why, your deep reasons for achieving it, the next step is to ultimately believe that it's actually possible to achieve that vision that you've been given. Listen, I'm your Irish brother. I am 4,000 plus miles away from where my world that I grew up in is. In my old self, I'm going to say in my old self, I seriously doubted that I could cross the ocean and experience a brand new world. But I'm living it right now. There are seasons in our stories where it just doesn't seem like it's possible. And let me tell you, one of your presidents actually says, those who believe they can and those who believe they can't are usually right. I think that was Roosevelt. You can correct me on that. Tell me what president said that in the in the notes, right? In the comments. Those who believe they can and believe they can't are usually right. You can't believe in your vision without a plan to be able to experience it, at least in some form or fashion, gang. You can talk a really good talk. But a lot of times deep down people are either lying or naive to the reality of their situation. In fact, most people would rather live in illusion than deal with reality. And as your Irish brother, I would love to help you deal with reality. And my team would love the chance to jump in the trenches of your life and help you face your reality and face your fears and find the motivation that's needed to accomplish exceeding abundantly above all that you could ask, I think, according to the power that works inside of you. Being naive isn't a bad thing, but in order to truly believe that you can accomplish something really big, we need to get resourced for that. We need to get educated for that. You need a context into what's really necessary for me to experience what I need. Before I crossed that ocean, I interviewed 13 different leaders who had already accomplished what I was looking to try to pull off, asking them, hey, tell me, will you tell me what you would do differently if you had to do it again? Because I want to do this faster. I don't want to take the slow boat. I got some gold, gang. I got some gold. And this afternoon, I have the privilege of, I guess in some form or fashion, being like one of those leaders. This afternoon, I'm getting interviewed to be to share what is the greatest piece of advice I have ever been given, or some of the greatest piece of advice that I've ever been given. And what I'm going to unpack, I'm hoping, is that one of the greatest pieces of advice that I've ever been given is that I don't have to pull this off alone. In fact, I was never intended to go this road alone. That's why every morning at 7, you're getting a check-in with Kevin. Because we have not been called to do this alone, and we need each other. We're called to bear one another's burdens. We're called to champion one another on in the race. What if there was a place so safe where the very worst about you could be known, and the very best, but the best is not a problem for us. What if there was a place where the very worst about you could be known, and you could be loved more, not less, in the telling of it? Broken Chains International is a group of people who are that safe, gang. And there are very few people on our planet, if you've lived any amount of life, who are that safe. A place so safe where the very worst about you could be known, but you could be loved more, not less, in the telling of it. Being naive is not a bad thing, but to pull off, to truly believe that you can accomplish something bigger than yourself, you have to get resourced. You need a context into understanding, or around understanding, what is really required to experience that. And you need to start succeeding even in small ways towards your goal. Growing up, we used to sing a song. Little by little, inch by the yard, it's hard by the inch, what a cinch. Never stare up the stairs, just step up the steps. Little by little, inch by inch, it's a cinch. So many of us, when we're looking to accomplish something massive, a lot of times it's easy to get overwhelmed. Again, remember what I said in the very beginning? We get overwhelmed because there's no plan. And so how do I break down, right, in understanding the how, what are some smaller steps that I can take moving forward to accomplish that bigger goal? The more clear you become on your target, gang, the better equipped you will become to find solutions to help you get there. Having a why you want to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish isn't enough. It's kind of like knowing that Jesus paid your sin debt. Done, dusted. Is that enough to enter a relationship with him? No, it's not enough. It's not enough to know why he died. A sacrificial death for you and for me. Having a why isn't enough. We need to know how and maybe even who can help us achieve and pull off that vision. Okay, man, we could go so much more. I got so many more notes here for you. So, but time is an interesting thing on social media, and so let me move you to number 3, and I will find a way to include some notes for you down the road. Go ahead and text me at 678-608-2111. Actually, let me pop that on the screen so you have that number. And while I'm at it, hey, you have one more day. Today is your last day to, whoops, it didn't show up. There we go. Today is your last day to enter into that giveaway. Text the word love to that number, but you can text that number and ask me for notes for this motivation talk. All right, and you'll get some more meat in addition to the meat that you're already getting. Okay. All right. Number 3. Let's go to number 3. All right. Before we get to number 3, let me say this one last thought. Right. Without plans, without people, you can't stay motivated. So you need a plan, and you might need some people to help you stay motivated, stay accountable, to help you get to where you are going. All right? You can't achieve anything bigger, massive, without a plan and people. All right? Having a why is not enough. You need hows and you need whos. Or you need to know who's going to take care of the how. I like that. All right. So number 3, you must commit. You must resolve the core of who you are to pay the price that it's going to take to get you to where you want to go. Freedom is not free, gang. And so are you committed to pay the price to help you get to where you want to get to? You're the only one who can answer that. So, if you have a goal in mind, if you've got a picture in mind of where you want to go, I want you to answer committed or yes, I am in your social media of preference channel, because I think we're on 6 of them right now. All right, so there is another theory called the hope theory, right? Resolve to pay the price. That's number 3. All right, it's possible. I'm willing to pay the price, right? We can do this. There's a theory called the hope theory, and it reflects our perception, or frankly our belief, when it comes to our capacity or the ability for us to be able to pull anything off. And the first part of it is that you have to have you have to clearly be able to conceptualize your goals and what it is you're after. You have to develop strategic, specific strategies to reach those goals. And you have to initiate and sustain the motivation for executing them, right? It actually is quite similar to expectancy theory. The idea is basically you need to have clearly defined goals that are meaningful and important to you, resonate within your spirit, right, within your core, and to believe that the plan and the people will actually get the job done. Which is this third point, which is you have to believe that you can actually achieve it. You have to believe that you can execute on the plan. And if you don't have the belief that you can do it all, then you have to have the belief you can at least just take this step today. Can you take this step today? Can you take your next best step? Because frankly, that's all that you're asked to do for right now. And take that step. And then after you take that step, then what's your next best step? But before, I mean, you know, sometimes you don't know the whole plan, but you plan to the degree that you're able to plan with the bigger picture in mind. And someone else, one of my many mentors coming down the road said, daily jump out of the nest and build your wings on the way down. What? That sounds like suicide. In fact, I was told that I was committing suicide by one of a dear supporter in the past, and still in the present to some degree, but just not in the same way, said, do you realize you are committing ministry suicide by leaving your island and coming to the Americas so that you can have a wider impact and a wider influence and I said to him, look, I'm not pulling the God card on you, but I'm telling you, I believe that I'm called to do this. And even when some stuff didn't kind of fall in line like you wanted to fall in line, you know what I mean? It was unshakable in me, right? That wasn't stubbornness or pride or arrogance. It was like, this is still what I feel like we're supposed to do. What me and Deb, feel like we're supposed to do. Huge. Can I just say huge? I have too many times dragged my beautiful bride to places where we were not on the same page with and paid the price afterwards, if you know what I mean. But when you make big decisions with your partner, whomever your partner may be, good night, Irene, you got to make sure that you're on the same page. That was a bonus. That was a freebie. You want to know how to discern God's will? Make sure that the significant others in your story are rowing with you. Because let me tell you, we're talking about considering the price that we need to pay. Woo! We don't need to be paying that price. Okay, so we need to keep moving. It doesn't matter, gang. It doesn't matter if the why is powerful, which is step number one. And it doesn't matter if you have all of the best strategies. Number two, the how. If you do not believe that you can pull this off, empowered by the only one who can give you the power that you don't have when it is down to the wire, then you will self-sabotage. You will find a way to blow the whole thing up. And I have seen it time and time again. You need to believe that you can execute the plans and the strategies that you've developed. You need to believe that you can lead the mission if leadership is required for doing whatever it is that you're after. You need to be completely committed to becoming whatever it takes to achieve your dreams. And most likely the version of you today ain't gonna cut it to help you get to where you want to go. Are you open to changing? Are you open to being transformed on your way to experiencing all that God has called you to be? So often in my story, I have come to understand that it wasn't necessarily something grandiose and something brand new that our Father was doing in your Irish brother's life. Though it was in this way. He was actually taking me deeper in the fundamentals to be able to climb the heights that I needed to climb. I once ran a marathon. I know it's really hard to believe. I don't really look like a marathon runner, do I? But anyway, I once ran a marathon. It was a half marathon, actually, at this stage. And I remember seeing these pace runners pass me. Now, pace runners, with a group running with that pace runner, is a runner in a marathon that is holding up this sign, that at the top of the sign it says the number, right? This is the sign, and this is the number on the sign of what time they're going to finish the race. I thought to myself, self, run with them. Keep up with them. You know what myself said back to me? Specifically, me Irish legs. My Irish legs said back to me, off you go then. But we're not going. We can't keep up with them. You haven't put the miles on us that are needed and necessary in order for us to go with them for the duration. And I'm sharing that with you because when you are completely committed to becoming whatever it takes to achieve your dreams, then you're going to be willing to do the hard work day in and day out that it's necessary to be able to do that. I learned a very big lesson on that half marathon. And that was, dude, there are no shortcuts. Now, listen, let me tell you, we can go further faster with other people. No question about that. Especially with coaches and counselors, right? No, I'm not biased, because the next race that I ran, I put in some serious work. I was struggling around mile 20. This was a full Monty, okay? I was struggling around mile 20, and I found this one of the many different pace runners, and I was able to hang on with her for a little bit, and I said, listen now. I said, I'm struggling, and there's a bridge coming, and my legs are like burning. And I don't know how to get over, Pete. No, man, no, I didn't keep up with them. In the half marathon, no, I couldn't keep up with them. My legs said, off you go, lad. But the next time, Pete, because I put in the work, but I was struggling at mile 20 on the next one, I says, look, hey, you got any tips? You got any like tricks? You got any like, I'm kind of struggling. And she said, just imagine there's a rope. Just imagine, like she's getting in touch with my noggin, right? And she was helping me with a vision, if you like. Just imagine there's a rope coming out of your belly button. And just as you're running, pull that rope and let it pull you over the bridge. Now, was there a rope in front of me? There was no rope. Except the wire ones that were holding up the bridge, right? Did I get over that bridge? I got over that bridge. I really appreciated that coaching tip. And then I said, hey, you got any others? She said, well, have you ever picked anybody off? And I'm like, picked somebody off? What? No, she says, okay, look, then here's what I want you to do. As you're running, I want you to pick somebody's waist. Don't pick their ankles or their feet. Pick their waist and make a beeline for their waist. And she said, don't pick their ankles, because if you pick their ankles, your cage will get bent. I mean, what will get bent? I said, your cage will get bent. Oh, I didn't even know I had a cage. She said, yeah, you got a cage. You don't want to look at their ankles. You want to look at their hips. And so I look at their hips and pick them up. And sure enough, it worked, guy. It worked. Because it's the power of focus, it's the power of intentionality, it's the power of direction, it's the power of purpose, it's the power of having a plan. And I said, okay, look, do you have any others? Because I'm loving, I mean, you're doing, this is really good. And she says, yeah. She says, you don't need me anymore. I'm like, what? She says, you don't need me anymore. Go. Like, get away from me. I'm like, what? Go. You don't need me anymore. Go pick people off. Go finish your last 5 miles, 4 miles, 3 miles, whatever it was. I think it was 5 or 4 miles. In those 2 miles, that lady got me through mile 20, obviously, and helped me finish my race with like 3 minutes under where, although I said I didn't really have a goal, to people generally in my head, I had kind of a goal. She helped me finish like 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes under my goal. Because coaches will take you further, faster. So, and counselors too. All right. Couldn't resist to get that in there. It just seemed like a fit, right? It's not in my notes. Okay. So, we're going to wrap this up. Couple more thoughts on believing that it's possible. All right. Couple more thoughts on believing that it's possible. If your dream is big, you will be required to change. There is no question. I wanted to better my marriage. In order for me to better my marriage, I couldn't be the same geezer that I was. Bloke, chap, man, lad, fella. Okay? In case you're wondering, what did he just say? I had to change. Did you know that Albert Einstein said, the measure of intelligence is in the ability to change? We'll do an intensive today and tomorrow. All day today and all day tomorrow, pretty much, except I'll break this afternoon for that interview I was telling you about earlier. But the biggest thing that I'm going to ask of the folks coming in this morning is that they are open, that their heads are screwed on, but that they're open, because you can't do anything with somebody that's closed. But when they're open, all sorts of things can be received. Can I ask you this question? And I'd love for you to tell me again in the chat. Are you open? Are you closed? Are you opening? Are you closing? Because again, there's a bit of a transition here, gang. One of the greatest postures that you can put your life in is that of being open. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. You'll need to expand, you'll need to grow into your vision. Because oftentimes the visions, in fact, if your vision isn't bigger than you, and if your vision isn't like, got you a little bit nervous inside, it's probably not big enough. And one of the primary reasons of actually having a huge vision is to transform you into the type of person that can make that happen. I couldn't stay on my island of Ireland. Literally, as a kid, I would dance in the puddles. I couldn't stay there if I wanted to experience what my Heavenly Father wanted to show me and help me experience in oceans thousands of miles away. Dancing in me puddles was pretty safe. Dancing in me puddles was familiar. And then I'd come in and I'd tell me mom sometimes, no, not all the time. Sometimes I'd come in and tell me mom, a little porky. I'd tell her, Mommy, the bullies pushed me over. Pushed me into the puddles, they did. Come here to me, Kevin. Sit yourself down now, child. Sit yourself down. And I'll get them wet clothes off you. I'll make you a cup of tea and some bread and jam. Sit down in front of the fire, child. Man, let me tell you, I'm glad I didn't stay in the puddle. I miss my island. I miss the people on my island. I miss the hills on my island. I miss the wind that never stops blowing on my island. You got to be willing to change, to expand, to grow. And you can expand and you can grow. Like There are core things about us, wirings that are about us that seem like immovable. I'm here to tell you that even the pathways in your neurochemistry can be rewired. The ways you think can change. Because when you change how you think, you change how you feel, and ultimately you change how you behave. You can develop capacities and skills. You can adapt to the challenging circumstances that are around you. And you can do and accomplish stuff you have never done before. Blown away I have been by what I have seen God do in the lives of other people when they are open to something different. And you know the definition, or one of the many colloquial definitions of insanity, doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. You want to experience something different, you want to live a different life, then you've got to live a different way. You've got to actually think a different way. And to be willing to think, or be able to think a different way, then you have to be open to the way that you are thinking right now may not be as effective as you once believed possible. And you have to be willing to exchange the truth that you've once held on to. Be willing to exchange it for something else that is more true. Frankly, sometimes you have to be willing to exchange the truth for what has been a lie that you've been clinging into. It's part of the reason why Jesus ultimately came, to open our eyes, to help us see what we needed to see and hear what we needed to hear. Are you willing? Are you willing to see life, love, leadership differently? You can become comfortable in the new and in the unknown spaces. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You can become a person of confidence and faith who is willing to put their stake in the ground. And you are going to need a stake in your ground. You are going to need something to go back to say, I made that decision then. I believe something shifted in me then. I will never be the same again because of that day, that decision, that commitment, that pain, that brokenness, that bitterness, that resentment, that anger, that rage. I never want to go back there again. You will have to put a stake in the ground, my brother and my sister. You can become that person. I'm here to tell you that this morning. This is daily fuel filling your tank, let me tell you. You get to that level of conviction by investing fully into what you believe in. So when you get clear on what matters the most to you, caring enough about your dreams to grow beyond your fears and overcome your fears and even your image of how you see yourself today. You may need to improve your marketing. You'll definitely need to increase your resources, your skill set. You need to care enough about your vision to learn what works and how to communicate that to others, to help others buy in to that vision. Because very few, if any, make it alone. Because we're not supposed to. Rather than solely remaining a starving artist filled with wonderful ideas and images about how other people, maybe not so wonderful, are doing things wrong. You, in the power that is incredibly greater than you could ever imagine, you can do this. How do you stay motivated? Getting clear on your why. Getting clear on your how. And believing it is possible. I hope today has been a help to you. We went a little bit longer. Good night. If you hung around, then I trust your wagon is full. And I would say keep it simple. Keep it simple. And just know, I got to get clear on my why or I'm going to lose my way. I gotta come up with a plan or I'm going to get overwhelmed. I'm going to get discouraged along the way. And I might need some people along the way to help me in that process as well. And I've got to believe it's possible, or at least become convinced enough to know that right now I can take the next step to help me move in the direction that I want to move. I am living, exceeding, abundantly above all that I could ask or think because of the power that works in and through me. And let me tell you, I have not arrived. Let me tell you, I'm still learning. Let me tell you, I'm still increasing my resources and skills to learn how to do what I'm called to do better. And I will be for the rest of my days. So may God bless you. May he keep you. May his face shine upon you this day. And may you know his peace that passes all understanding. May you glow with a glow that only he is able to give to you. And if you need a safe place where the very best and the very worst about you can be known, and you can be loved more, not less in the telling of it, we're here for you. You take care. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 or afterwards. And if we can help, then give us a call or send us a text or email us at info@brokenchainsintl.com, and we'd be delighted to come alongside you. These were some thoughts from your Checking with Kevin at 7, finding your daily fuel, about how to get motivated, how to stay motivated, how to pull off dreams and goals and desires that God is placing in your story. Take care until next time.